We are back for our final show of the year, Donnie.
Yeah.
It's come to that time.
It's come to that time, Doug. The year is coming to an end.
And hasn't really hit me yet. The pickle situation.
Oh, Doug, I think your pickle situation was a little crazy there, buddy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We got two things that probably shouldn't go together, and I'm going to probably put my foot in my mouth here, but pickles and moonshine.
Yeah, well, as if people would have seen my my post on my personal social media, I'm covering the label because they do not sponsor. But there's the pickles in the liquid.
If they do want to sponsor us, though, they can reach out and we can talk.
I would love if they would. So I've still got I got half of them. I got half.
Would you switch sides of the screen here?
That'd be you. It wasn't me.
I didn't hit any buttons.
I didn't do that. That was you playing with button.
I was not. I was Googling. I was not touching buttons. What is going on, everybody, in the world of bags? What? The juice goes great into Caesars. Just saying. Was that a salad?
No, Caesar. The outside wasn't as bad as the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just.
Oh, now you're feeling it.
Seeds. Just saying. Well, corn nudes, you know what? Corn nudes just reminded me, I haven't done something, Donnie. I haven't said them. This is messing me up here. I think you did that.
I didn't touch anything. Come on. How do I move you? Can I move? Can I rebox you here?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna go to a solo layout then.
Why don't I go to a solo layout?
Oh, there you go. Now
everything is back right with the world again.
I wasn't trying to even hit any buttons.
Yeah. So, God. Okay, Caesar, U.S. You guys call it Bloody Mary, but here it's the Caesar with clamato.
What?
Clam juice. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Tomato juice. Yeah.
That's bullshit. Bullshit.
And plus, Caesar Sunday goes very well together.
Does it?
So I think next time I'm heading to Michigan is like March. So I think I might get the spicy one with peppers in it as well. Show the label there, with the peppers in it as well. Steve, yes, Steve, you do not like that. I know. I wish I had that video right here to play. Ooh, I don't like that. Was him? And actually, you know what? It is the same company, Steve. Same company. Just saying. So what's new in your cornhole world?
I did play yesterday in a tournament, and I drew the worst partner in the entire venue.
The guy in the mirror?
Yes, I was a ghost. I played with myself and lost. Mm-hmm. I was horrible. I shot great in rounders, Doug. I was probably averaging somewhere like a 7.5 because we would just keep it. It was just for score. It wasn't for we didn't do PPR. Mm-hmm. And literally get to playoffs, couldn't hit a damn bag to save my life. I could not hit the ocean if I was on the Titanic yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was garbage. Straight garbage, Doug. How about yourself?
I have not played. I really wanted to play yesterday. KW had their first tournament in like a long time. I would have loved to have played in that tournament, but A lot of good people were there. I think Big Mikey Bourgeois was there. I know Steve Pohl was there. I see Michelle Hunter in the chat. She was there. BJ was not there. Spencer was not there. Corn Dudes was not there. But yeah, good time.
Yeah, good
In
times.
the pictures I seen, it was people from Niagara cleaned up. Crystal was. I seen pictures of Crystal. Crystal was there. So yeah, but yeah, I was in Brantford. Kids hockey, and yeah, so we'll talk about that. But you were like just eyeing up whatever you're watching.
I'm just doing a little. I'm doing a little internet sleuthing right now, Doug. Sorry, I'm.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just
you're trying to make sure that you're the wager that you will lose later on.
I am, Doug. Listen.
We won't give the people a hint of what it is. But,
it's already in the bag, Doug. It's already in the bag.
I don't think so.
Are you really? Are you serious? Serious?
I'm serious.
Yeah, listen, this thing is already sealed and done.
No, don't think so.
Just write the check.
Oh, I cannot wait.
It's going to be a blast. All right, I'm going to close my internet sleuthing. I've kind of found what I needed. We'll talk more about that at a later date. Doug, question from the crowd.
How did Grayson played great? Team, okay. And because I know nobody from the team watches us here, coaching staff, I will give a -5. But that's just me.
Anything notable happen?
No. Oh.
Nope.
Our final game, I said, fine. There's one team you cannot lose to because we do not come second to people from that state. We lost to a team from Ohio.
Dude, nobody should ever lose to anything from Ohio. The
one thing is though, talking to some of the parents, cornhole players, no idea who the Ass brothers were.
That is a win.
It's a win.
It's a win in my book right there.
Good day, Mr. Hammett. We are still working on your thing. It's going to take us a while, but we're still working on your thing.
HNY. Oh, Happy New Year! Yeah. Listen, I'm hip with the acronyms.
So speaking of the new year, and we have the year gone by. What you have anything that was kind of notable for you from the past year with cornhole?
I mean, the big things for me, as usual, is the 2 big trips that I go on every year and get to hang out with the people. So bag and bash always number one. I get to go down to the great state of Georgia and hang out with all the people that make some of the greatest equipment in the game. Get to see all my peeps down there, from the people that help make the bags to the boards, and then just hang out with some of the best players in the world. And, I got to ride down with Marky Berry, and that was a lot of fun because we had a good time just kind of chilling in the car and having a good old talking too. And then, my second favorite tournament in the whole wide world, where you get to see the who's who of cornhole at a massively large stage, Spencer McKenzie's. Yeah, nothing that happened in Canada.
I'm just gonna say you said you made 2 trips.
I made 2 amazing trips. I made a couple mediocre trips. No, I did. We did get to hang out in Drummondville.
The one that you slept through half of it.
Listen, it was a rough
weekend.
I'm
just going to check in the hotel. I'll be back.
Hey, I fell asleep with a burger on my chest.
I'll be back. You did not say tomorrow. You just said you would be back.
Hey, I did check into the room.
Yes.
That was a Ty, I don't have an exact date right now because the great thing about Titan Bag / West Georgia is they shut down just before Christmas, so everybody can spend time with their families, and they don't open back up until I believe January 2nd, which is the Wednesday right? Wednesday? I'm horrible at calendars.
Thursday.
Hold on. Is it Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, I think they're back Thursday, Friday to kind of ship some orders that came in through the holiday, kind of get all that stuff up and running, and then they go back into full production and everything from there on.
There's the person that will know.
Yeah, Candy, back on the 2nd, I believe. I think that was the post. Yeah. If you can...
I think she'll make it back on the 2nd. Bruce and Brendan, maybe if he...
Well, it all depends on, bowl games and everything else.
Or if someone's playing their VR game that they kids got.
Dude,
we don't know who that is. We don't know.
Hey, wait. Do you know what game he got?
It wasn't cornhole.
No, it was the doors. For all the doors he goes through. It is Thursday. It's Thursday the 2nd. They are back. And that's when everything will pick back up and start shipping out again. So if you get your orders in...
With Ty-in saying Russ, come in the chat. Russ, how you doing? But yeah. So for me, my travel really got a little more in 2024. 2 trips with the Calgary, Quebec, back another trip in St. John's where people, I think probably for the first time, got to see me engage in the later evening festivities a little more than I had in the past. A few videos are out there, but it's all fun.
And that's what it is. And that's why can I say the one trip I am really looking forward to in 2025 is the trip to St. John's.
Yes, it is going to be fun. I cannot wait to finalize. I know we're still saying we're going to finalize some of the stuff that we're going to do there, but to finalize some of that stuff because I think it's going to be a blast.
Well, we have about 8 storyboards that we've set up already. Yeah. For all the framework of everything that we want to do while we're there, and I think the big thing right now is us nailing down when we get there, and then kind of planning everything out from there. Because I know we've already talked to some other people about what we want to do, and they've kind of given us the green light. So now it's really us finalizing the plan and figuring everything out as to when we arrive, what's going to happen, and then we're planning the most epic meet and greet in the entire world.
Yes. There will be, just to warn people, there will be a charge for this that will go to charity. Not to us. It will go to a charity.
The whole trip for us will be 0 sum. We are not taking a dime. We'll actually be leaving more money than we're taking, because we're there to support the community, support Canadian Cornhole, and have fun with all of you who supported us through this last year. So any money that's raised for this event we're going to put on, we will not be taking a dime, because that's not what we do. We're there to help out. And I think it's going to be really fun. We've talked about some really cool things that we want to do. We just need to see if we can make them work. Yeah. So stay tuned. But Spencer's next year will be number 3. I think tied for number 1 will be Bag and Bash 2025 and St. John's. And then Spencer's will be number 3 next year. And that's really all I have on my calendar for next year, Doug.
Yeah, well, I've got the still coming up here now for 2025. I got just Drummondville, St. John's, and then Ottawa again, and then just see. I think nothing's been announced. I can't really say exactly what's going to go.
Well, I'm trying to. I texted Trey to see if he can send me one of those ACL ESPN polo shirts. He just hasn't called me back.
Yeah, I don't even have the one that I.
You had one once.
I think I'm going to make a replica because I had to give that one back.
Oh,
I will make.
You got the replica? Loaner? You got the loaner tote?
Yeah.
Hey, you're in good company because guess who wore the loaner jersey for like pretty much their first 2 ACL pro seasons?
Well, not you.
It was not me. It was one of the best players in the game. Tony Smith, for pretty much his first 2 seasons, used, if you notice, the back of his jersey never had his name on it because he always showed up to the courts with like a T-shirt and like, you can't do that. You got to put this on. So he used the loaner tote shirt to go out to broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, I might be able to get us some. I might be able to get us some other polos, though, Doug.
Well,
some really sexy Under Armour polos. Yeah, so when we do some of our stuff, we could have those on. I know a guy, and a girl that might be able to help me with that.
Okay.
We'll talk more later, but there's some really, really sexy polos. Actually, hold
on. But also, just kind of if one thing that I really liked this past year that I got to really see more of, and Trey had mentioned it on his live feed today from the regional headquarters down in Rock Hill. Just that because there was some new players that come on the feed that he had never seen before. That some names that come on, they were throwing lights out, and that's the one thing that I've really liked this year. Like kind of the past 2 years, we have just gone to we were just in Niagara, seen most of the people here in Ontario. We were in St. John's. Through the magic of the internet, I'll be able to talk with and get to know most of those people. So those people really didn't surprise me. But just going to Drummondville and now to Calgary twice, so many new names that are coming out that I'm getting to see on live feeds, for them to have breakout games on live feeds, and just again, think the whole Rolodex in the head kind of thing getting a little better. Some new names like Derek Barrett finally having a good game on a live feed.
Who?
Yeah, that guy. Hello, Mr. Vincent. How you doing? TJ. And then I see Kim Pohl coming into the chat there as well.
Well, if we were on another podcast before you said those names, we would do this.
Which one's that?
From the state you don't like.
Oh, okay. Do you do live ones?
What?
Oh, okay.
Derek Barrett, I'm not talking to you right now.
No, but that's just the one thing, that big thing for me with 2024 is we've had so many new names come out. We've had so many new leagues come out. West Coast Cornhole starting up January 7th in BC. Go check them out. We've had James Finley and Tiny Cornhole League started up in Ontario here. And just so many other leagues coming out. BJ, not ACL Canada yet, but his league starting up in Nova Scotia. Just so pumped with stuff coming out that it's just incredible. More places for me to go and visit.
Well, Doug, I'm going to say something.
I like.
I'm going to say something very controversial right now, and the rest of Canada might get upset. But I have to say, the breakout region for Canada this year was definitely Newfoundland. It was St. John's. Literally, that area. Come on, it blew up more. Who are you going to say? You can vote yourself. You can make your own little top 10 list. But I'm going to say 2 things in Canada really really started to help it. One, East Coast Cornhole.
Yeah.
And the first Canadian Titan Pro, Derek Barrett.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you those two. I think Newfoundland last year was their year. I think this year Quebec. I think 2024 was Quebec.
Did you see more players from Quebec going higher than the players from Newfoundland this year, though? Because Newfoundland kind of was they were kind of there last year, but I don't know if they kind of had the success that they had last year.
I think they were getting on the map last year, and then they made the progression this year. I think this year for getting on the map was Quebec.
I'll give Quebec rising star.
I think they are where Newfoundland was the year before, or Ontario the years prior.
Or do we call that the equinox or whatever we call? Oh, the Aurora Borealis.
Okay.
The player that's lighting up.
Yeah. And then I'll talk a little more when we do our 2025 stuff. But I think this year was the year of the breakout Quebec players because the ones who were starting to, and then I guess maybe that's where I'm at a little differently, where all the names that came out and were really kind of showing out this year from Newfoundland are ones I had heard of in the prior. So I already knew about them. I was already expecting some bigger things out of them. Just the rise of the players from Quebec, where each tournament it was like new player after new player after new player, and it was just, they really kind of came out. So I think this year it was Quebec, and next year I've got another place in mind. I think who are going to take over, but we'll see.
Well, guess what? So here's the thing: there's only 2 votes for the Down and Back Hall of Fame, and it's a split decision.
Yes.
The only other one that personally gets a vote is Cousin Ben, and he doesn't know much about cornhole.
No, and I don't even know. We don't have all of because he's live right now.
He's live right now, so we've lost a couple viewers.
Yeah. So yes, that's what 2024. I think we had a lot of. Derek, you guys are already here.
Coming in hot.
PJ, I think that is across Canada that it's starting to come out more.
And that's the thing. Like we've talked about this throughout the year, throughout 2024, right? 2023, we kind of talked about some kind of randomness or some spottiness around Canada where, some of the leagues were breaking out and, some of the places were starting to blow up. But I think 2024 really solidified Canadian cornhole, right? I don't think it's the talking about and Canada anymore. Canada's part of the conversation now, right? It's not just about, oh yeah, they're a great player in Canada. A lot of these people that we talk about on a weekly basis can really hold their own no matter the world stage, no matter what. I mean, listen, last year at it's this year still. I'm thinking we're already in 2025, but going into the World Championships, Canada held their own. And I think, the team that was put together this year might even go further. So, I think a lot of Canada is now part of the conversation instead of being kind of that footnote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for sure. And just hoping that they will bring along another international broadcaster this year. Just saying, I wouldn't mind going.
What is that? What is it?
Get a guy on.
No, Trey already called me. I will be a.
Good day, Mr. President. So I'm going to say something right now. We've got 14 people watching. Everyone, share this. Get all of your friends watching. We need to have people because I want to do this here soon. Let's say we get to 20 people watching live. We will talk about the special thing we have coming up for the next few days. Okay? Let's get 6 more people watching here, and then we'll talk about that.
So like, share, subscribe, get more people in.
Yes.
Doug will actually have some stuff to say.
Yeah.
What is that? 26 3/4? Is that what you throw, Doug?
Well, yeah, So I, Mr. Steve Wilson gave me this here. I don't have enough space to turn around to show my likeness on the back of the shirt. But yeah, it is 26 3/4 cornhole, no mercy.
Yeah, you really beat the shit out of the front of that board.
Well, and you know what? and if anyone was watching today, Trey was someone was saying about that Trey was their pick to win singles down in Rock Hill today, and Trey was like, "Then I better start drinking now because that's the only way he can play good is if he's been drinking." And I was like, "Trey, you didn't drink at all the 3 times that we've played." And then Trey said that he just got lucky.
What? No, he said he had to be good though to play you. You're not doing that good.
I guess he was trying to be nice to me.
he was letting you off the hook.
But hey, it's been over a year since he's beat me, so
that's right. So guess what? In this world of Scoreholio, your stats have reset.
Yep.
Hey, can I show you one of my greatest Christmas presents ever?
Bags with your face on them?
No.
Okay.
Not underwear with my wife's face on them either.
I've seen those. Too. I'm really surprised. Actually, you know what? I'm surprised it's not your face.
No, she bought them because she thought it was hilarious because I put my face on everything. So she had to put her face on one thing. But this is the greatest ever present. This is called the back rake. It is one of the best back scratchers in the whole wide world.
Oh, I thought it was like small so you could fit it on the board when you rake underneath.
No, I'm not that old. I don't need the grabber.
Ooh, Daryl's saying a set of Viper R's.
What?
Yeah. We're up to 18. 2 more people, and we'll talk about what's going to happen here.
Daryl.
Hey, Jude. Hey. We got someone big watching.
Who do we got?
Former guest, somebody big. Watching on my side, not your side.
What?
Jay Rubin, how's it going?
Jay Rubin, why are you on his side?
Because Jay knows where it's at.
That's garbage.
No, it's not.
Garbage.
He likes me better.
But wait a minute. Here's the one thing. Set of Viper R's, okay? This is my biggest pet peeve at like a blind draw, any tournaments I go to. Viper R's, they're a good bag. Don't get me wrong, they're a good bag. But I'm going to say this, and I said this a million times, Doug. Why would you buy a set of Viper R's and throw them on fast side the entire time? The whole allure of a Viper R is the slow side. So why would you just throw that bag as fast side all day? Seriously. Like, I don't get it. Like, there's so many other bags you can buy with that same fast side, but you still keep doing it.
Yeah.
I don't get you people.
So we're over the counts. We're going to talk about this right now. So, as I said in the post about doing the show here tonight, there's a sporting event coming up. We are making a little wager. We've already talked. I had to remind Donnie about this.
Yeah, because I forgot about it.
You forgot about it.
I might have drank a little too much the last time we talked about it.
So there's a sporting event coming up, and you know what? We could even be possibly going live during this sporting event. Could get dangerous, but we could go live during this sporting event. So, coming up New Year's Eve, there is a sporting event that Donnie thinks he has a chance of winning. There's no chance.
Hands down.
No. I think the chat will probably agree with me. So, coming up New Year's Eve, World Junior Championships, Canada and the USA to face off. So, we have put a little wager together, and it will involve St. John's. Okay, so the winner of the game, the winning country that night, that either the left side or the wrong side over there. It's not the right side; it's the wrong side. We'll get to make a shirt for the other to wear in St. John's for an evening. So, Canada wins. I give Donnie a pro Canada's shirt that I will make up, and we don't even talk about him winning because he won't. Hello, Mr. Austin Hawkins on YouTube.
That's my guy.
How about that?
That is my guy. What is up, Austin? How you doing, baby?
And I bet he's way better than his dad at VR games.
He's way better. His dad is everything.
Yeah.
Way better.
So yeah, so that will be the wager. So you'll be able to see in St. John's at an event that we'll be having.
You are gonna look so good in red, white, and blue.
Nope.
It's gonna be a onesie. Bringing back old memories there for you, Doug.
Memories of that pickle. Brent, you just lost your Canadian card.
Did he get kicked out of the country?
I think so. I'm going to guess in 1949 he voted for the other side, not to go with Canada.
Well, here's the thing, though. Soon, we're going to be one country, Doug.
No. No. I thought we said we weren't going to be controversial tonight.
Listen, I got to stir it up a little, Dougie. Come on. Listen, right after we buy, was it Greenland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. Too fun. I can't get into it because it's just too funny. I just had to mention it, but that's hilarious. Oh. I do love Pierre, though. I do have to say that.
Bottom side's worse than the middle.
Well, that's been drenched for a long time, Doug. So that's probably been sitting there for like months. Yeah. It bites you back.
It does.
You know what I still have? I still have my moonshine from down south. I think it's called birthday cake. Oh, Wayne's calling it 1-0 in a shootout. That's cool because in a shootout, right, Doug? I'm not big on hockey. I like hockey, but I don't watch that. Like the whole new format kills me. But in a shootout, whoever wins the shootout, you get the 1 point to win the game, right? And then you take all the points, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So even if like the shootout's like 5-4 or whatever it is, you still only get the 1 point, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Craziness with these hockeys, like especially when people start driving electric Zambonis. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Should only be fired up by propane in the teeth of former players.
Yeah, because we want to put everybody to sleep in the building.
Come on, Doug.
I've got liquefied pickles here that I'm.
There you go. Hey, does your ice cleaner machine have one of the special seats where like a fan can sit on it?
No.
No? Is it against like rules?
Yep.
What is OSHA up there? It's OSHA down here. What is it up there? OSHA is like the occupational safety and health.
I could have it, but
wait.
I don't know. Wait.
Hold on.
Here we go. We are going to settle this bet. Okay. This side or the wrong side?
What did I stumble into?
Well, it's right now. It's a love fest. Who do you love more?
Myself.
I knew that was coming. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you gentlemen doing?
I'm good. Good. Hey, I didn't see the obligatory J. Rubin post this year.
No, it didn't happen this year. The day I was going to go out there and go do what we normally do, we just had some shitty weather, so we opted not to take the 3-hour tour around the city of Chicago and up north and back home. So didn't happen this year.
That's how far it is from you.
Well, I got to go an hour into the city, then I got to drive an hour north
Okay.
to hit the Home Alone house, then to hit the Jordan house, and then from there, I got at least another hour depending on traffic. So it was a little difficult to try to do like on a Monday night before Christmas Eve.
Yeah, kind of. The holiday felt kind of shitty this year.
Yeah, pretty much. So it didn't work out.
I can ask you a question.
Yeah.
And I need you to answer this honestly. On an accountant's salary, how did Kevin's dad afford that house?
No idea. It's on the market for $5.2 million.
Seriously. Like, he had 8 kids. Like, there's no way you can afford that house. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not. But I guess it's massive. And I didn't even realize that. I think I saw something that was on, I think, TikTok. And it said it had like 8,000 or 9,000 square feet. And
it didn't look that big.
No. And I know my cousin redid some of the HVAC work in that home. And I completely forgot to ask him. But that house apparently is it's massive, but it doesn't look like it.
And no, it looked like almost like a 3-bedroom, like 4-bath kind of.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because all you ever see is that front exterior.
Correct.
When they did the scenes in the back, you kind of just saw the door and other stuff like that. You never got a full view of the back or the side.
Yeah, the last couple of years, they really didn't decorate the outside really well. I mean, they had some lights, but it wasn't like as theatrical as it was previously.
Well, they're getting
and I was
sick.
I was like, I don't really want to go there. Like the last time, like you could barely capture the lights with the kids in front of the gate, and it just wasn't worth it.
Well, they're like, we don't want all these assholes showing up anymore. We're done. It's like the people in, what is it, Arizona that keep getting the pizza thrown on their roof from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's like, everybody go away, please.
Yep, I get it, though. So
big question right now.
Yeah.
You getting ready for Myrtle?
I'm not going to Myrtle. So the first one on the books for 25 will be Mississippi. So we're debating, me and Ryan, if we're going to Mississippi or if we're going to do one of those new interstate tournaments.
Okay.
That's closer to home. And then after that, I'll be in Reno, and then I'll be in Louisiana for sure. So those are most likely 3 of them that I'll be at to kick off 25.
I shot a man in Rio.
Did you?
Yeah.
Man, you live to talk about it.
Just to watch him die.
So will you be doing Michigan then?
I'm on the fence about Michigan because that falls in line on my birthday, actually, and I don't know if I want to spend my birthday in Michigan. If it was in Vegas or something, or California, Florida, most likely I'd make that trip. But if I go out there and I win another Open, let's say in doubles, me and Ryan got 2 wins in doubles. We can't we're maxed out in points. So I don't know if I'm going to even chase any more Opens if I can go out there and put another win together.
So
I thought about the Michigan one there in March, but I'll be in Port Huron, Michigan the weekend before, so that'd be like 2 weekends in Michigan.
I'm sorry.
I'll be home that weekend.
You got to get out and travel. Go to some Opens, man.
I do have to get out to some more stuff. I mean, I haven't even played one ACL event this year so far.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, my dance card has been busy with the family and cheerleading.
Okay. Well, that's a little bit more important than going to an Open, I'll say that.
It is a little more important because right now we are chasing, as a sophomore in high school, we are chasing a scholarship.
Okay. Good.
So cheerleading scholarships work a little differently where they don't recruit. You basically have to reverse recruit and like sell yourself to the coaches and everything else to get them to look at you on like all the social medias and through other platforms.
Really? I had no idea it worked like that. So she's got to basically build up her own resume and sell herself.
Yeah, but she's got to build up.
It's not his daughter. It's not his daughter. Donnie's doing the Rodney Dangerfield. So it's all for himself.
The triple Indy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, we basically started doing a lot of pictures and other stuff, and now we got to do camps and other. I'm going to be so happy this summer. But what else is going on? How else has everything been? How you shooting?
Shooting out of my mind, to be honest. I just played a regional last weekend. There was probably, I'd say there was at least 10 pros there, I threw 230 rounds, about a 10.8 average, over a 1 DPR. I lost one game early, and I didn't shoot really good at all. I was really tired and lethargic, and then I woke myself up and I was like, "You're not gonna fucking lose another game," and I went on a run. So it was real good. Me and Sebastian had a 37, 38 round game where I shot, I think it was an 11-2. That was a really good match. That was the first game of the double dip. And then the second game, I kind of blew him out. He went for a couple shots he probably shouldn't have, but I'm feeling really good, playing better than I honestly ever have. That was the best run I've ever put together in terms of DPR, PPR, as many rounds as I threw in that tournament on that day. So I'm feeling real good heading into 25.
Well, if your dance card is empty around the end of May into June, and you don't need to go to any other more opens, there is a Canadian Open in St. John's, Newfoundland, that
Okay.
you can come hang out with some of the coolest people in cornhole.
Actually, I think that weekend, if it's the end of May going into June, I think there's a signature event in Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you already have a good signature.
I
I have it right over there.
know you do, but winning one of those signatures is a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more valuable. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Than our friendship?
No, than the bag that you got signed or the poster you got signed.
Wicked cool. So what else is going on? I know we throwing the auras.
Yeah, throwing the auras, man. They're money. I didn't know what to expect. I got them like a week and a half before the first open, and I went through a breaking in process that I never ever do, which is using a little bit of fabric softener. But I had no choice because I needed them to break in. And honestly, these things just play great. Slow board conditions, I can chuck them. But if it's faster, I've gotten used to the speed on it where I'm throwing a high PPR, like I'm throwing mid tens or above. Like I think my season average is 10-4 with over 100 matches. So I'm really starting to get comfortable with them, which is key as we move into the season.
So when do you switch? And when you switch, what bag are you throwing?
Well, I don't have another set of auras yet. I'm still waiting on my signature series. So when I get those, then I got to get those broken in just like these. So that's going to be a work in progress while we go through, these couple opens in 25 here. So hopefully I can get those ready, when the signature events come around, because I'm going to want one set that's going to play faster if the boards are super slow, where I'm not going to wear my arm out all day having to throw it super hard. And then if the boards are super fast, then I'll have a slower set where I can just throw a normal bag and let it do its thing. So I'll have them broken in different ways for, different things.
Okay. So you're going to stay with the same bag, just different levels of broken.
Correct. They do have a true carpet bag that I just got in hand about a week ago. So I'm in the breaking in process of those. It's probably going to be more like I would say a Viking with that slow side and that fast side. So I'm curious to see once those things get broken in. They're still a little bit stiff right now. So it's kind of hard to tell. But once that material breaks down, that could be another one where I may not have to have a slower set of auras. I just might be able to use these newer bags.
So we're looking like an 8.4, 8.5, 8.3?
No, I don't even think it'd be that much. I think it'll probably be more of a 3-4 on the slow, maybe a 6 on the fast.
6, 7, depending.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not overpowering. It's not your traditional slick side material, that is, 8, 9, 10 range. It's not that. It's
so a true medium bag.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and something like that, Ryan thrives off of because, allows him to play his game and play strategic and roll.
He's got that loud pop off the board. I mean, that bag comes in thunderous.
Oh yeah, it does. For a kid his size too. So yeah, he definitely got power behind it.
The only other person that I've ever heard throw that hard used to be Jake from Moneybags. Like his bag used to hit the board so hard and make a pop, and he's about 3 times taller and probably got another like 200 pounds on him.
Yep. It's crazy. It doesn't matter how big you are. It's just, what kind of torque you put on it. And if you can constantly hit that spot, and you're going to get that thud out of it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
so to switch gears from cornhole,
Yep.
last big sports card that you got.
Honestly, nothing. I haven't even.
Nothing lately?
No, I haven't been dabbling in any of that, to be honest with you. I had no luck pulling any cards, and I kind of gave up on it a little bit. I will say I did buy some stuff for my son. I bought him some Pokemon cards, and he got a rare-ish Charizard. But for him, it's like $80, not graded. So if it came back a PSA 10, probably be in that 250, 300 range. So it was cool for him to get that experience of opening something up like that and kind of going crazy over it.
I found that I haven't really been buying much sports cards, but just I found that when our Tim Hortons about hockey cards here, when I've got those, and sometimes they don't make it home for my son because that addiction of opening up the packages. I really don't care what it is. It's that addiction of opening the packages.
It is. Sports cards nowadays are too expensive for what you actually get out of the product. For one, the resellers kind of killing that market as well, where they'll snatch up all the stuff and on the retail sector, at your local grocery store or Target or whatever it may be. So you can't even go there and spend $30-$40, get a blaster box, and maybe chase a Wembanyama rookie card or something. It's already gone. So then you're opening up lesser quality, cards and pulling out a bunch of bullshit. So I'd rather not put my money into that. I'd rather fucking take it to the casino and go gamble.
So then another kind of basketball question. Now that we've got an ACL league in Hamilton, Ontario, if we can get a big event to Hamilton in the off season, if we can get Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to play in his hometown, would you come up to partner with him?
Oh, 100%. I'll play with SGA. I'll play him in basketball too, but I'm going to get fucking work. But I'll work him on the board, so it'll be a wash.
Well, you gotta play basketball first to make him feel good about himself. That way you can just totally destroy him.
I haven't shot a ball. It's probably been... No, I lied. I did it at a regional a couple months ago, but it was nothing more than like 7 feet from the basket because there were boards nearby. But if I know I'm going to be able to play with him, I'll get some reps in. I'll be all right.
Well, I think that's the thing the ACL can do now because they did the Super Bowl with all the NFL players down the States.
Yeah.
With so many top Canadian basketball players now, I think we could do that up here in Canada as well.
I think that would be a great thing to do. It'd be great to see it here in the States as well. The football players, for the most part, none of them really have it, to be honest with you. I feel like basketball players may have that hand-eye coordination a little bit better because they're shooting a basketball into a net from, a pretty close distance. I'd be curious to see what some of these NBA guys would look like, throwing a bag 27 feet. Because I feel like there should be some guys out there that could do it just naturally and be pretty decent.
Well, you do have the one football player that says give him 6 months, he could be an ACL pro.
Pat McAfee is not that guy. He can run a good show. He can, punt the ball fucking 60 yards. But, he may get decent. He may become a competitive level player. But to be that type of player, especially next year where it's 100, he's not going to crack the top 100.
No, especially the question for you. You can answer it or not answer it. How do you feel about just being top 100?
Honestly, 3-4 years ago, I said the league was watered down to my own people, and I thought it should only be 64.
Okay.
I really thought it should have been the cream of the crop, and you kind of earn your way in every season, or I don't know if they could have figured out another way where, if you lock into a sponsor for 2-3 years, maybe you have a 2-3 year contract with the ACL if you do maintain that top 64 status. But I like the direction of it. I like the direction of paying the players. What that's going to look like is to be determined. But I definitely want to know more about that, because you're really going to have an opportunity now to make an actual living playing this game, right? With sponsor money, the money from the organization, prize money. So you're going to get it three different ways, which is kind of exciting.
I like it. I like it being an even number, right? Because top 100 makes it so there's at least 50 doubles teams.
Yep.
And then you get 100 singles. So you can at least run a pretty decent round robin.
Uh-huh.
So, I like the number. I'd like to see a little more behind it too, right? I want to see what that profit sharing from sponsorship money is going to look like, and what the prize payouts are going to be, right? Because
Yes.
I think for some players like me this year that aren't at a top level, it hurt a little bit this year by getting a set of bags or a set of boards or other stuff, right?
Right.
Where I'm putting good hard-earned money in, but maybe not getting it back, right? So I can't sell to my wife that I got a set of bags
Right.
that I now have to resell. So I just want to see what that's going to look like going forward, because I just think some more cash has to come back into the game. Even though, listen, I understand where it's going and where we're going, but I just think for some players, especially in some of the lower divisions, the juice is not worth the squeeze right now. You know what I mean? Where it's
No,
going to
it's not.
make it harder to, Doug, ready? It's going to make it harder to keep growing the game.
No, I completely agree. I mean, to be honest with you, it is a tough sell unless it's in your area to go and travel to an open and keep growing the game with some of the prizes they have laid out. I mean, it's just the honest truth behind it. I mean, people are not getting excited to, go out to Myrtle Beach, let's say, like they once were, where they could have spent New Year's out there and had a vacation out of it, and could have been playing for, some decent money, even though it wasn't the top money, but, playing against the pros and at least competing, with those top players like that. Now they're competing against their peers, which, I mean, you're doing all the time anyway, but you're not competing for a whole heck of a lot. So, yeah, I completely agree with you.
Well, that's the thing is, in the past, not me, but players that can actually throw a cornhole bag could at least show up and at least half their money, right? Get
Right.
some of their travel expenses and other stuff back.
Yeah.
To supplement the game and traveling.
Yeah.
Where do I like Myrtle Beach isn't that far for me. I mean, I think my ride to Myrtle Beach is probably just as far as your ride to Myrtle Beach. You know what I mean? Because we're both coming down there. I think it would only take me, less than 12 or 13 hours to get there, something like that. But if I'm driving 13 hours, putting that kind of wear and tear on my truck, also paying for Airbnb or a hotel, and then entry fees, that doesn't include my platinum membership that I paid $100+ for.
Correct.
It makes it a little tougher now, because my wife keeps saying, when is your cornhole business going to start making money?
Right. No, I mean, you're not playing either. So it's not like you're playing and competing at your regionals and, earning cash there to supplement and pay for it. You know what I mean? It's strictly coming out of your pocket. So, the other thing too is, going down to 100 players, do they bring the amount of approved bag manufacturers way down as well?
Well, bags,
I think they would almost have to. I think they would
I
almost,
agree.
because you've got so many of these bag companies that have these pro level bags that are charging them more that aren't being thrown at all. Like, no disrespect to them, but
Correct.
There's only a certain amount of teams, a certain amount of players. Not all the bags are being thrown.
Right. So does that number come down to 20 approved bag manufacturers, the highest grossing? Like, what does that look like for the future as well? So I don't know. There's a lot of things they're probably working on right now as they prepare for, even next season. But
But
I'm curious to see where we'll be at a year from now.
No, it's crazy. I think in a year from now, it's going to be, we're probably going to be 2 to 3 years in the future, a year from now, right? When we start to really think about it. But you kind of look at that too, right? If you're dropping down in bag manufacturers, right?
Yep.
Let's just say it goes to 20 or 25, whatever it is, right? 25 for the top 100. Money was already tight this year for sponsorships. I saw a lot of people drop out this year because they couldn't supplement playing the way they did in years past.
Yeah.
So if that money doesn't come in the back end from the league, does that hurt the quality of play?
I think you're spot on with that assessment, to be honest with you. I think it will hurt it. To what degree, I'm not sure. But it's tough. I know, me coming back, I was taken care of pretty well, but I mean, there's an investment to be made with me. You know what you get with me. I consider myself, even a year removed, like I still consider myself one of the faces of the organization.
Well, you're still on the stupid poster.
Right. So, but yeah, it's going to be tougher. What is that bottom? What does the 100 player look like, right? What does that player get? Because are they marketable? Are they good on social media? What value added do they bring to the table to justify, even if it's 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever it is, are they worth that? Is somebody going to be willing to give it, or is it going to be like, I think it's 5,000.
Well, but the thing with it is, though, like, I see someone in the chat that you know very well, but a lot of people think that bag manufacturer or clothing manufacturer should be supplementing most of their income at the same time, right? Where I'm going to call it what it is. Next year, if it's the top 100, what does that bottom 10% get? Or what do they kind of deserve, right? You're just in the top 100, which is admirable, but to your point, how marketable are you? What are you doing, and what are you bringing to the table? Because if you're asking me for my hard-earned money, what are you bringing to the table for me?
Right. And, there's probably going to be some anomalies where you're going to have a big name with whoever it is, right? That may have a qualifying season, but may have an off season, but still has a heck of a resume, right? Let's just say, and Adam Hissner, right? He's got a great track record. He's got a lot of accolades. He's great for television, all those things, right? He had a great season last season. He finishes 91st, right? I could see him still commanding the money. He may have just had an off year in singles or something. He's still qualified well in doubles. What does that look like? There's so many different variables based on how you're going to qualify next year and where you finish in the standings, both singles and doubles. Is that going to hurt you necessarily, based on how you finish? I don't know. But again, what is the ACL? Like, are they going to pay you based on your percentage? Are they going to give everybody an even amount of money from top to bottom? How does that dynamic shake out as well?
Do you get a 5% if you're in the top 10? You know what I mean? I don't know, right? And here's the thing. Years past, you've seen it, Doug's seen it, I've seen it. They used to call the qualifier down in Rock Hill the gauntlet.
Yes.
But in the last 2 years, it's gotten even harder because it's been the who's who of cornhole in that qualifier.
Yeah.
Right? The top 16 people in the qualifier are some of the bigger names in the game from to re-qualify, because to your point, they didn't have that season they needed based on partner or based on individual performance to stay where they were. So they couldn't secure their spot without going back through those 2 days to get back in.
Luckily, knock on wood, I've never been there before. I don't ever want to be there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games. It's a lot of grinding after you've been there all week long, trying to do that on, Saturday or Sunday?
Well, wait a minute. But wait a minute. Let me give you the biggest letdown ever. Friday afternoon, Friday night at 5 o'clock, you get an email that says, BT Dubs, you have to play in the qualifier tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want that email.
No, but that's what happens, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that can take a little wind out of your sail, even though you might have been throwing great that weekend. Now it takes a little bit of, it puts a little more pressure on you because you're like, damn, I've been throwing good this weekend. I feel really good. It's the last event of the season. Now I got to extend 2 days.
Well, that's where the cream's going to rise to the top, and those are the ones that are mentally strong enough to handle that, process it, and go out there and try to execute. You got to build off of, you may not have had the success, you may have thrown well, but you got to remember where you were at, what you were doing, and maintain that level of focus and go out there and try to put it together at least into that so you can qualify to play again the following year.
Well, and that's the thing. Sometimes it comes down to that mental fortitude, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, we'd
what's
seen
going to
that-
separate a lot of players.
We had seen it for the first time this year because we did the first kind of gauntlet at our national on the Sunday morning. And we had went up in players from our 30 some up to into the 40s for our pros here this year. So it really wasn't to that extent where we had so many pros that were coming back in that had to requalify. I think next year we are, and because we have so many great players who have come in and are getting win, like qualifiers that are getting wins in the pro division, that I think at our qualifier next year you're going to see some shockingly big names in Canada here have to go through that qualifier one more time, and it's going to be very interesting.
Well, I think in Canada, because we've talked about this, Doug, where you guys have had people that had to play in a couple times, right?
Yeah.
Like you only had so many pros, so people got to play in. I think there should be play-in bonus points for some of those players that had to every week or every month when you're doing your qualifiers.
Yeah.
They should get play-in points that go towards their pro card for next season.
Yeah, just want to say hey to Mr. Sato Soto coming in to watch. Well, and Jay probably doesn't know this here. This month, beginning this month in Niagara, we had a person who played in the pro qualifier on the Friday to get one of the open pro spots actually win the singles division in our pro event, right? So that was his second time qualifying this year in 2 events. He's qualified on the Friday to play in the pro events. We've got 2 more that I think he will probably qualify for easily again. But yeah, so we've had that, and last year we had a qualifier partner up with a pro player in the pro bracket and take that down in one event too. So we're kind of we're still uncharted territory with that, but we've got new players coming out all over the place all the time.
Well, so what are these players throwing? Like, are they throwing in the 9s? Have they scratched the surface of throwing like in the 10s consistently in terms of like the duration of some of these bigger tournaments? What does that skill level look like now?
We've kind of been throwing 9s. So and a lot of players are getting, there's some new. So like our singles are the regular to 21 to the in the doubles events. Some players are have to get a little used to playing in the 14 round limited games.
Right.
So in the doubles division, but
so it's making it a little more difficult, Jay, to your point, where they're not used to the round limited and they're used to playing a full game. Right. So that might be hurting them a little bit in some of the formats, because in the U.S. when you're doing the 12 or 14 round limited, sometimes people's PPR is a little higher.
Oh, yeah, sure, because you're not throwing as many rounds.
You're not throwing as many rounds, and it's not as much of a battle, and you're not making the board messy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're probably losing 2 to 3 points right there. Whereas if we played the same format up there, you'd probably see them rise a little higher, a little faster.
Makes sense.
But we've had a lot of guys, like a lot of the players throwing high 8s to mid 9s. In some of our events, right? Which is a little higher than last year, but we're still getting some of the players are even throwing a little more, and and
I
it's
mean, it's
just
a
been the old,
gradual progression. I mean, when I first started, I was throwing, I was probably throwing, well, we didn't have Stat Tracker then, but I would say I was probably throwing probably mid nines. And then it's been a gradual work up. Like when I last played, I think my season average was a 10-1, and I'm already at a 10-4-1. And albeit it's only 100 matches, but I mean there's still a lot of rounds behind those matches to support that. So I mean, but that's a 6-year buildup for me. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
where you guys are still a little bit further
Yep,
behind. So I mean, and that's I'm just talking about myself, and I'm
yep,
not talking
yep.
about any of the other players or their styles of games, but they're going to have that progression where it's basically it's the dream team against the world, right? We've
Oh, it
kind of
is.
already laid out that foundation. We're ahead of the game. Now it's getting the rest of the countries to kind of get to par with everybody else.
Well, Jay, don't be
Like,
worried right now. Don't worry, because I'm coming for you. I'm at a
Oh, I
solid.
believe it.
I'm at a solid 6.27 right now.
Attaboy. Stay
but
hot.
like in that point, like with some of our players, are like being able to watch on the line feeds and kind of watch a lot of the games. I'm able to see the progression of some of these players. And a
Yeah.
guy like Simone Dallaire, who I talked about, who was the qualifier that won the singles at our event in Calgary, we had Logan Chamberlain up here, and I was talking with Logan. Simone had actually come up and he had asked Logan, what's the secret of your roll bag? And Logan kind of told him, I just throw it and it rolls, right? And he kind of went through it with showing Simone how he did it. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, Simone went from like a great airmail thrower to now having a roll bag in his arsenal. And then in Calgary, I think almost everybody talked to Logan about a roll bag. I was like, we could have made him a lot of money, but now we've got all of our pros are starting to roll bags now, and so that's we're getting some bigger shots. And I've found in the last year we played a lot of conservative cornhole where people were just putting it on the board or just sliding it in, not really kind of playing a dirty game. Now we're playing a dirty game with roll bags and airmail drags and that, and we're getting a little more exciting, kind of a more, I want to say, sexier cornhole like the Americans play, but we're
Yeah.
kind of getting that in our game, and it's
Well,
making it a lot more fun for me calling games.
but it was Canadian cornhole. It was just nice.
Well, yeah,
That's
no, and that's exactly what it was. It's like,
what it was. It was nice.
See, I don't
I'm sitting
think
all
that
day of
shot should be based on certain players' skill levels. I feel like they got to master their craft of running bags in the hole. They got to be able to airmail. They got to be able to at least cut at a bare minimum, and if not, then learn the roll bag. But too many players now, let's say they're throwing 8s and 9s and stuff like that. They want to do it, and I get it that you're going to need to develop it, but develop the other shots first. Like make sure you can run a 10 PPR when you need it, right? Make sure you can hit that airmail at a drop of a dime whenever you need that, and then start to work on that stuff when that part of your game is very consistent, right? Because otherwise, you're going to have waves of inconsistency.
The biggest missed bag in all of cornhole for a non-pro is the push bag.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. It's kind of almost a lost art, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're playing a true dirty style game, those guys have to clean up, and they know how to clean up well. Your Eric Davises of the world. He plays a very dirty style game, but he knows how to clean up. Same thing with like Ethan Walker. They're very good at it, but that's not like what it used to be, where it was block, airmail, push, which is kind of how I started, where you learn how to push a bag that was 6-10 inches from the hole. It's block, roll over everything, and then there's probably some mess there that now you're not being able to push through. So you got to be able to do everything very well and at a high level. That's why I say I'd rather master the art of some other skills first, and then once you're very comfortable with that, then you can learn to develop other things.
Yeah, the roll bag I think is the most overused
Mm-hmm.
bag for advanced or back players.
Correct.
Where honestly, the old style, ready, Jay? The slide right game
Yeah.
where it was block push, is a lost art right now in this game.
It is.
It is.
It really is.
Totally.
Too many people want the glory of the highlight reel. I want to be in the top 10 highlight reel this weekend. No, I'd rather be in the top 10 wins this weekend.
That's it. Wins and losses, that highlight reel doesn't mean nothing if you went 1 and 2 in your bracket and you had one great shot.
Listen, in the immortal words of Jimmy Sear, I just want the big check.
Well, and that's again, that's the thing is that, and everyone's kind of going.
I got one.
That pickle's still getting on me. Everyone wants the big high PPR, where you know what, that big high PPR game may not win a tournament for you. If you have if you're playing that dirtier game, you can still win tournaments, and that's, I think, the bigger thing to go for.
You can do both. So I'm throwing a higher PPR now, running more bags in the hole, not shooting the airmail as frequent, where I am now, like if it's 4 inches from the hole, before I might have just went right over the top of it, where now maybe I'm stepping out and trying to come around it and get into the hole, or I'm cutting around it, or I'm just pushing through, nudging and replacing his bag with mine. So I'm playing a different style game when it comes to that, but it's working. And it's worked, whether it's been at opens, regionals, blind draws, whatever you name it. It's working really well for me. So, I mean, while it's still kind of a lost art and you do see more players that have the dirtier style game winning, I've already won a couple $5,000-$6,000 tournaments this year in doubles playing that exact style like a Matt Guy plays. So, I mean, it's still there. You just got to pick and choose your spots when you want to, go ahead and just let that airmail run. Especially if you're playing round limited games where you dig yourself a 3-point hole and you may never get a chance to get that back.
Well, I think that's another hard part of the game right now too, is tempo, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody's going for kind of the big shot, like the 3-bag drag or something else like that.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to keep, like to your point, either cut around the bag and move that corner to move closer to the hole, right? Because it's bag 2, bag 1, you've moved maybe a quarter of an inch towards the hole and maybe made it a little flatter, a little more presentable for bag 3.
Yep.
And if the other person screws up, they might kick you in and kick off.
Correct.
Right? It becomes a game of tempo at that point, and more of chess instead of checkers, right?
Correct.
Where now you're really starting to try to control the board, control the tempo, control the game. And even if you're down 3 in those games, sometimes the other person gets a little loose at, maybe a blind draw, maybe not at the bigger level you're playing at sometimes, but you can really start to shift that momentum to put it back in your favor.
Yes.
Where I think I saw a game, and maybe the last open, where like the last round was like a 7, and somebody like won the game because like they literally just took control that last round.
And it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what I do. I will set up, depending on where the first bag is, I will set up bags 2, 3, 4, round situation, score situation, all the variables considered, and try to manipulate that bag. Say it's my 3rd or 4th one and I know I got to hit it, or I got an opportunity to get a bigger round. I'm already forward thinking, to your point, with the tempo and the pace and everything else, of what those last shots are going to look like. So when it comes to it, there's less thinking involved. It's more of a natural reaction, and it's just a normal shot. And it eliminates all the overthinking that some players do. Like you said, I'm playing chess most times while other people are trying to play checkers. And that's giving me the advantage.
Well, that's the thing. If you've laid up those 2 bags in the front, right? And now you're not throwing a true airmail. You're throwing a short airmail to try to drag those bags in, because you want to come on top of it and just pancake everything towards the hole.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, so my other thing that I've seen a lot of, and because the round limit style is so new to a lot of players, is rounds, I would say rounds 9 through 13 of a 14 game round limited. That if when people are up like 5 or 6 points, even if the score is still low, but there's that 5-6 point spread.
Yeah.
A lot of people are still trying to they're trying to get extra points. Where once you get to that near the end of the game, if you're up that much, a wash is a win, right? Like you don't need to try and get that because you're going to keep the first bag anyway.
No, I
Right?
mean, the chunk round is nice, but if you can at least get a point in first bag or better,
Yeah.
that's where you want to be. Like when me and Jordan won the shootout, people probably don't remember that we played Mark and Phil, and we were down 9-1 or 10-1 in like round 9 of a 12-round game. We came back and won, right? It was one of those things where I think I scored, it was either a 2 or a 4, got it back to Jordan. He scored some points, brought it back to me. I scored another, I think it was a 4, and I think Jordan won it with a 3 or 4 as well. So, I mean, it's one of those things you're down, but you're never out. You just need the first bag in your hand, a little bit of luck, and you gotta execute perfectly.
But you know why? Even the world champion gets a little nervous sometimes.
Jordan might, not me.
No, but actually, I think we had one 14-round game in Niagara Falls here, and 4-3.
Okay,
Right?
there you go.
Because it was just that just waiting for that person to make that mistake.
But Doug, I think to your point, sometimes people either play a little too loose or a little too aggressive when it comes to round limited, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes they think by keeping their foot on the gas, they're going to like really do it. But
Yeah.
sometimes they overthrow the bag a little bit. And that's where you get the one that kind of hits the front of the hole and flops off to the back and is hanging. And then my second bag, I'm going to throw an airmail. And I missed the airmail.
Yep.
So now I've only got one on the board. Maybe they have 4 points. So now it's 4-1. You know what I mean? Then I start forcing and I start giving up a few points here and there. Where if I played a semi-aggressive, semi-conservative game, because I think Matt Guy said it the best when he said, I think it was when he was on the Dogcast one time, and it's like, how do you not lose? He said, just put all 4 in.
That's it.
That's it. That's how you don't lose. You just put all 4 in. And if somebody else misses, you got a couple points
Well,
there,
that's
right?
the other thing too is like you were just saying, like that bag flops the hole and now it's hanging in the hole on the back. Like you don't have to force unless it's going to take you 3 bags to bring that bag back, and you're literally in one of the last 2 rounds. You don't have to chase it because the person next to you still got to throw 4. Not to say they won't shortboard it, they won't just keep it on the board, and vibration may bring your back a little bit, bag by bag, right? You may have 4 bags between both of you guys that get thrown, and that bag creeps back. So now you really don't have to shoot it until maybe bag 4.
Well, it depends on the bag you're throwing too, right?
Right,
And
absolutely. A lot of variables.
No, but the bag you're throwing and also what side it's on.
Correct.
If it's on fast side of that bag, you get enough pop on that board, those beads are going to shift a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
The next, the guy beside you throws it, pops a little more. Now, by maybe bag 3, maybe now you can go for a little bit of an airmail, right? Because now you've got more of that corner hanging down into the hole where you might be able to get that drag, where a bag before that, it might not have worked, right? Because what I've seen a lot of is the trampoline effect, where people will pancake a bag and just kick straight off of it because there's been just way too much pepper put into the bag.
I've been there. I've been doing it plenty this year while I've had so many bags, and mine comes in pretty damn flat, where it's a normal slide shot, or even if it's a push shot near the hole, where I'm either under the bag on the board and I'm basically bar soaping myself unintentionally, or I knock it in, and then once the bag knocks in front of the hole, now I'm flopping to the back, and I'm like, what the? Like, I'm not used to seeing that. Maybe it's the different type of carpet that I'm throwing now versus what I've thrown in the past. But that's something I'm trying to figure out, because I can't afford to have those types of bad breaks go against me, like when I get out there and start traveling, because a lot of these guys are going to eat you up, and that one mistake could cost you a game.
Well, it's even tougher under the lights.
Well, I was just going to say that. I was going to say, because up here, we've got so many players that have never been on the live feed court, or get too nervous because they're worrying about the people watching, or and that there it's even better. And I seen Trey talk about it today down in at their region at the headquarters. There was I don't want to say a missed shot, but a short bag thrown. So it was short on the board, right? So kind of down to the bottom. And I know that's a bag up here that's really messed with a lot of people because they're thinking now I've got to throw it higher to get it over there because I don't want to hit it because that bag is like a magnet. No matter what you're gonna do, you're probably gonna hit it most of the times. But you got to throw a little harder. Now you're overthrowing the board, right? That you've got to kind of just try and settle yourself down somehow to just throw a normal bag.
That shot, when I first started, bothered me a little bit, and that was just probably more or less because that was my landing zone.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, you throw it a little higher, a little harder, so it lands slightly deeper, and then you go into the hole. Now, the other thing you can do is you can keep your same line, just step out right or left, hit your same landing spot, which should be maybe next to the bag, maybe slightly in front of it. And now you got a more of a straight line where you don't really have to worry about that bag too much, like landing over it. You can land to the side of it and ride your path straight.
I've seen you do that quarter step.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about angles and like looking at things in a different way. Like if it's leaning a little bit more your way, and I'm like, well, I don't know, that's a little close to the landing spot I like on a normal throw. I'll play it safer and maybe just step out a little bit. Because if I do clip your bag, I'm going to force it back into your direction. If I'm inside arm and you're outside arm, I'm going to put that a quarter turn, maybe a half a turn, depending on how much I hit it. Now that bag's even more in your lane and more difficult to get around and navigate. So, I mean, again, that's back to me playing chess and other people, kind of playing checkers at times.
All right, one more piece of chess. Ready?
Yep.
Two different appropriate uses of the timeout. What would they be?
One, shot selection, big game, big moment on television. Two, I do call timeouts just to kill momentum. If my partner's struggling, I'll say some words of encouragement. But a lot of times I will call a timeout and talk about absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Stare at the board and say nothing.
That's it. No.
Love it.
So one thing you said, and it will be my last question here, because we've got a lot of new players out to our league here in KW, and then I also see a lot of newer players come out at some of our opens as their first event going to because they've heard about it.
Yeah.
And when I've talked to them, they're all like, "Oh, we see everyone making these big airmail shots," and I'm like, you know what? As you're first starting out, you don't have to. Your first bag shouldn't be mastering an airmail, right? And the same as the first night out, people are trying to show people how to throw a flat bag. You need to throw a flat bag right away. I'm like, you know what? Let's figure out your landing zone, like you talked about, being like on the logo or whatever it is, and then letting the bag do the work. And then kind of once you figure out what your landing zone is, then work on that flat bag. So, any advice to newer players? If is it that looking for that landing zone to first?
So what I'll say to that is, and this is something that I've talked about when I've done some lessons, I encourage, especially when you're practicing by yourself, or even if you're doing like a simple like little rec league for those lower level players, throw the slowest bag you got. Because what that's going to do is that's going to paint a picture for you. If you rely on a quicker bag that's more hole friendly, yeah, you're going to find that landing zone where it's going to, make its way to hole and it's going to flip and flop and maybe, circle back in, right? But if you use a slower bag, that slower bag, when it lands, it's not going to move and react nearly the same. It may flop because it's tackier, but that's going to paint a better portrait of what you're doing wrong with your throw and where your landing zone really is. So I would encourage, like for me, it was slide rights, right? I would throw the slow side of the slide rights when I first started, and I was painting a fucking portrait all over this damn board. I'm like, my bag's over there. This one's over here. This one's over there. but then there was a common denominator that I had to figure out, right? So whether it was my release point, my arm drifting across my body, maybe I opened up my hand or my wrist too much, all those little variables. So I do encourage throwing something slower to see what that looks like and then try to find the common denominator for why those inconsistencies are happening. Then when you find that, now you got to master that craft of those inconsistencies and turning them into being a little bit more consistent. And now when you put a more favorable bag in your hand that you like, you should be able to dial in a lot better than you would be before.
Yeah, because that's my other thing is I see new players come and they're like, oh, I seen this pro throwing this your fast bag, so I've got to throw this bag as well too. I'm like, that's a pro bag for a reason, and you're not a pro for a reason.
No,
you've got to, and I always say this, you've got to be Goldilocks with bags. You've got to try every one.
I'm gonna totally contradict everything Jay just said. First bag should be an open board airmail.
I've done that before. I did that with Jay Cutler on TV. Me and Bernstein.
Open board airmail, reckless abandon, just let it go. Be like Elsa and Anna and let it go.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, I got to run. My phone is at less than 10%. It was
all
nice
right, Jay.
up with y'all.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. We'll have you on again sometime.
We'll talk to you soon, baby.
Bye.
Candy, that is completely true. I love my Titan dozers. I do have a set in the new truck because if I call it a car, Doug's going to yell at me.
Yeah, he's just got a truck.
I got a truck.
But yeah, I like what he said because for me, we see so many new players come in and they want to just fast bag, and it's like.
Well, but I think that's the hard part about how this game has been televised too, right? Because you're seeing players at the top of the game that have really spent the time really mastering their craft and lots of hours of practice. I mean, listen, Jay, I've known him for many, many years. And he was the one person that I constantly saw practicing, right? Practice in a hallway. Now practices around a set of stairs. And literally constantly throwing bags to see what's going to work, what's not going to work. And in the summertime, you see him out on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, you say that you've known him for a long time. We've already established that on the down and back before Dogcast. So yeah, so you can say that.
No, that's cute. I was the one that brought him in tonight. I sent them
he came on mine first.
No, but and that's the thing. That's the one thing I love about this game is, the Adam Hisners, the Jay Rubins, the Trey Birchfields, the Mark Richards, the Tony Smiths of this world. If they're in a game, don't necessarily go up and talk to them because they're in a zone. Yeah. But when they're off to the side, they're some of the best people in the world, and they
like I said, Logan Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Someone's like, I was up there and 5 people come and ask him about the rollback. He's going to tell you how he throws his rollback.
Listen, but they're going to help you out because they know. I can tell you, I can give you the top 20 players that are stewards of the game and want to see it keep growing. They might not be the top 20 players in the world, but they're the top 20 people that want to keep it going, right? And Jay's right up there with all of them. Cito, right there, who wants to see people keep playing, right? It's a game of friendship and a game of fellowship. And when you meet those people, I've had so many people that are my tribe, right? I have a family, I have friends, and then I have my tribe. My tribe is a very select few people that have helped me to continue having fun in this game. Because 2 years ago, I almost quit. I was out.
Yeah.
And you were right there with me. We had to talk each other out of it because it wasn't fun. But the people in my life that are in my tribe helped me to keep going. Candy, Bruce, you, Derek, Jay, Adam, and some other people locally, Mark Berry. These people help me to continue to keep playing this game because every time I get down, they bring me right back and they're like, well, that person just isn't the person you want to put any stock into, right?
Yep.
Because the game is so much more than the sum of its parts right now.
Mhm.
Right now, it's growing to a sport such as, the MLB, the NBA, the NFL, where it's becoming a true business, where I have a lot of friends that are in the business end of the game, and I would much rather help them out right now than some of the other pieces.
But then now we say that go up and talk to those people. Some of those people, when you go up to talk to them and you say, "Hey, how do you do this here? How do you do that?" They may say, "I don't know. I just do it." So you may have to go to a set of boards with them and talk with them while throwing.
Wait, before you do that, just say hello.
Oh yeah.
Like
I was
just say.
I was gonna say bring a drink, but
but say hello first and be open. And say, hey, I just got into the game. I know who you are. But be open because they're going to be more open if you come at them with a handshake before you go in for the hug. I always go in for the hug, and they can't stop because I'm just going to hug them because I love them. But but come in with be open and be honest. I've been only playing for a little bit, and I just wanted to kind of come over and say hello. Don't come over the top like some people and be loud and obnoxious and
holler at them in the line getting
holler at the line, and then some guy named Jeff Reynolds won't even talk to you anymore. But just have fun. People, have fun in this game. There's so much more that this game is going to be able to do. What is this? 3-0 Canada? Who are they playing tonight? Or is that?
Canada's playing Germany tonight.
Okay.
So they win tonight, then they win New Year's Eve. Then you lose a bet, they get first place. That's all it is. So if you've been away watching the game, we do have a thing for New Year's Eve, and we'll probably at some point be at parties in separate areas, and we may go live New Year's Eve. So the winner of the game New Year's Eve between Canada and the U.S., St. John's, Newfoundland, I will then be just making something for Donnie to wear that is pro Canada, and that's all the bet is.
Well, no, that's cute. Canada came back just to play us. I mean, that's so cute. And after we buy you'll look cute in an American flag.
It's because like I said to some other people here, goaltender Canada has right now that has not allowed a goal yet. Same goalie coach as my son.
All right, Wayne says he's bringing the fireball. Now it's a friggin' party.
But are they in pickles? Is there pickles in them?
We don't need pickle fireball. We don't need pickles in fireball.
I still remember Charlotte 1 year. Good friend TJ said, "Hey, let's go down to turn 4. There's cornhole going on down in turn 4 on the infield of Charlotte Motor Speedway."
You met some guy there, didn't you? Did you meet?
Yeah, that was Lewis. That's Anyways, yeah. So met TJ down. Well, TJ is a friend down there I've known forever. Him and I actually won the infield cornhole tournament. One time he's like, "It's like 3:00 in the morning. Cornhole's going on down in turn 4. Let's go down." So I walked down with him, and I walk down there. I get down there, and it's like, "Oh hell no, I'm not playing. There's not a chance in hell that I'm going to play cornhole on these courts." Because between the two boards, bottle of Fireball. If you threw short, you had to take a drink of the Fireball.
You would have to buy them.
I will not make it through a game.
No, you would have to buy them like 6 bottles of Fireball.
Exactly. Exactly. There's no way in hell I was doing that.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
All right, Dougie. Love you to
We've
death.
gone over an hour and a half. Like
We have.
Again, I was thinking but I was not expecting a guest. That's why you watched, because guests show up, and
we listen.
What happens.
You know why, Dougie?
Because I'm awesome.
No, why else?
He was watching me first.
But what do we do on this show, Dougie?
We're just that's why I had to change. We're just winging it. That's why I had to change it, because Jay was covering the Winging It logo, and I was like, and then I'm trying to go to like which layout was it that I'm supposed to get, and then I finally got it.
I saw your flop sweat trying to get the logo back.
Yeah.
But we're just winging it, kids. We don't go. We do this without a script, without a net.
We are live on the net without a net.
No, but we the only thing we had to talk about was our bet. We had nothing else.
We come in here, was just we're going to talk about the bets. Let's talk about. And you know what? We didn't even talk about what our thoughts on next year was going to be.
No, we'll figure that out later. But you know why? Because you started talking about somebody, and I was like, I have to send him a message just to see if he's available.
That's what we do here.
That's what we do. And listen,
you see people in the chat like, hey, you want to come on?
If you want to see more of this in the new year, hit us up. Let us know, because we just want to
let us know who you want to see on the show, because we can get them on the show.
We can pester them. I'm pretty good at it.
We can, yeah. He's very good at that.
I'm very good at being annoying. Ask Candy. She can tell you.
Yes. I'm still going to buy some Titan bags.
Yeah, do you even have a set?
I don't have a set. But yeah, but I will say, I did say it off the top when we were saying, I was going to talk about who I'm thinking is going to be the 2025, where people are going to come from. Western Canada. We're already starting to see it with the with Bruce and Trevor in BC, and Dustin and them in BC that are pros.
What's the most western province?
BC.
BC is the most western province. Okay, is that right beside Alaska?
Below.
But below, but it's a touch a lot. It's like right there. Close.
The Yukon is close. It's next to it.
Yukon Cornelius?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love that guy.
You know, he actually kind of looked like him right now.
Wait, I'm trying to grow this so I can like use my beard paste and twist it.
Yeah.
So I can get the upturn, like Snidely Whiplash.
I was trying to think of the name. I'm like, why have we? Yeah.
All right, everybody. Guess what?
Yeah.
If we don't talk to you on New Year's, we'll talk to you next year.
Well, if he doesn't go live, I'll be going live at some point.
Oh, listen, we're gonna go live. Listen, we're just gonna make shit happen.
We will, because I will be live with the guy who should have been in the first class of the Cornhole Hall of Fame. I will be at a party with him. No, not myself.
Is his logo below you?
No, because he was.
Oh, he made it for. Oh, he made a ballot, and you're done. Oh, okay.
Well, actually, I still have his award here. I haven't seen him in a month.
Wait, do you know what I have though? I have two things from that man.
Do you?
I have a quarter board, and I have a little snowman.
Oh, that's cute.
Hold on. Let me get my snowman. Look at his mom sent me a present.
His mom is dead. That's what you said, because first time on TV here locally, he made the confession that his mom makes his bags for him when he made bags. But anyway, we will have a thing where on an upcoming show we will give away some JC Cornhole merch. I got shirts here. But yeah.
All right, everybody. Love you to death. Be safe.
I'm afraid to end it with what the hell.
You're just going in for more pickles. We're gonna call you Mr. Pickles.
You're sitting there for an hour and a half. Yeah. Cool. We're out. We're out. So I'll be back New Year's Eve
I'll be with you.
to gloat on this man because this man will be wearing something nice, red and white. He will
Listen,
not be blue. He will not be blue. Maybe with sadness, but he will not be wearing.
me and my new back rake will be here as championships.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Look at, oh, that's a good scratcher right there. All right. Be safe. If you're going out for New Year's, grab an Uber or in Canada,
Don't eat pickles and juice.
or a sled dog. I don't know what you guys do up there.
Okay. See you all next time.